Hey, what's going on guys, Mixuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Sultai control deck for standard best of one. Now this deck is inspired by the one that Seth Manfield top 8'd the Fade 2 Karma Valentine's Day tournament with, and I'm a fan of this because it's not a Sultai Ultimatum deck. I just don't like the Sultai Ultimatum. I don't know what it is, maybe it's because you have to put a bunch of 1-ofs in your deck and that just kind of annoys me, or because in best of one it won't always save you type of thing, I don't know, but this version is a lot more of a leaned down control, or very similar to Dimir control version, where we only splash green for 2 cards, binding the Old Gods, a very key piece of removal that also ramps you, and can be blinked with Yorion. You guys have seen this by now, but just an absolute goat in the format. And Coma Cosmos Serpent. So 7 mana is a lot to pay, but if we do, we get a uncounterable 6/6 that spawns a 3/3 every turn, and those 3/3s can be sacrificed to either tap a permanent and its abilities can't be activated, or make the snake indestructible. So obviously indestructibility is good against targeted removal or not extinction event-esque board wipes, and tapping target permanent can help in a bunch of ways. Can tap down attackers that otherwise would be problematic, like anything equipped with an Embercleave. It can tap lands if that's what you want to do, although I don't think that's the best use. And it can tap stuff like Planeswalkers to make sure they can't actually activate their loyalty abilities, which might come up. So I don't know, Koma's really flexible and it can quickly take over the game, making a 3/3 on each upkeep. So that's it for the incentives to be in Sultai. The rest of the deck, again, is just very leaned down, pretty standard Dimir shell. So I'll get into it pretty quickly. We are a Yorion deck because it's basically free, and we have a lot of permanents to blink, which give us a lot of value, like Omen, Nightmare, Binding, and like Planeswalkers to reset their loyalty. So we start out with Bloodchief's Thirst. Cheap removal, you want to stay alive. We are best of one, and again, you can kick it to take out Planeswalkers. So just a big fan of the Thirst. Cling is our escape card. You can probably fit in another one if you want to, but yeah, if you're worried about rogues, that type of thing, can gain you life, can draw you cards, and can wipe your yard against rogues, so just a good escape card. Juaris, Spike Something. This card and Negate are becoming very playable in best of one in my opinion, because there is Tybalt's Trickery running around, and if you're on the play, being able to spike a Trickery can be super important, as well as every deck sort of running non-creature spells. I think we're at the point where Negate is honestly a main deckable card in best of one, at least in some number. And this deck has a lot of 2-mana interaction. So while we're holding up Negate, we can be holding open Omen, or a Mazemind Tome draw, or a Heartless Act, or any type of 2-mana interactive source. So just, I'm very happy with the 2 Negates. Omen, draw some cards, blink it with Yorion. Eliminate and Heartless Act. I like this sort of 2-3 split because they cover each other's ground, right? Heartless Act can't take out anything with counters on it, while Eliminate can, and Eliminate can't deal with big things while Heartless Act can. So I wouldn't go all in on one, but I like a sort of 3-2 split. If you think that's a little too much spot removal, then just go 2-2. But yeah, that's it for the main Doom Blades. Mazemind Tome, draw some cards, gain some life, smooth out your draw. Amazing card, pretty much in every control deck. Soul Shatter. I'm trying this out against the Goldspan Dragon. I'm not sure how it's going to fare. It can take out a bunch of stuff in best of one. Basically, each opponent has to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker with the highest CMC among creatures and planeswalkers they control, right? So it can be sort of removal for their best thing. And the reason it's important against Goldspan Dragon is because it doesn't target. So that can be pretty good. If it doesn't work out, we can just put another like Heartless Act or Elspeth's Nightmare in the deck, but that's the rationale for Soul Shatter. Nightmare, amazing card, kills a creature, hits their hand, and exiles their yard in 1 card, blinkable with Yorion. You guys have seen this for a while. Saw it coming, sort of replacement for Neutralize. Foretell it on 2, just a hard counter, great to hold up, if you can especially do something else like draw cards with Tome. Cosima, I'm a big fan of 1 Cosima in these lists. I feel like I never really want to see more than 1, and we have a number of ways to accrue card advantage in the deck, Cosima being one of them. If ever you're drawing too many Cosimas, you just sort of do nothing, and you don't even get that much value off of them. But on turn 3, slamming one, and if your opponent can't deal with it, tucking it away for later in the game when you need it to come back and draw some cards can be really important. And if not later on, it can just be something you slam and just gets you card advantage throughout the later parts of the game. We don't really animate the Omen Keel. We can crew it with Ashiok, 2/3s, Cosima tokens, Yorion if you really want to. So it's definitely crewable, but we're really in it for the Cosima half. On 4 mana, obviously Binding, we covered that. We also have Extinction Event. We are best of 1, it's the best sweeper. We pretty much have to run 4. Yorions, same reason as the Companion Yorion. Ashiok, we're not in Dimir, we're in Sultai, meaning we have more win cons. In my Dimir deck, I run 3 of this because it's one of our main win cons and card advantage engines, but I think just 1 is fine in this deck. I am a big fan of Ashiok. You guys saw, I don't know if you guys saw, but in my Dimir game, I -3/1 Ashiok like 4 or 5 times, and it just absolutely crushes a Sultai player. Shark Typhoon, same rationale that I said in my Dimir video. I like 1 because if you cycle it early, your opponent will be playing on Big Shark for the rest of the game, and in certain matchups you can slam it and it just takes over that way. So in best of 1, I wouldn't go all out on the Sharks, but I don't think I'd cut it entirely either. I think 1 is just perfect, and if not, 2 is also acceptable. Koma, we covered, and Ugin, just big card. We ramp to it with Binding, wipe the board. If you ever ultimate it, you probably win the game, and just consistent bolting can be pretty good too. Mana base is pretty thick. We run all the pathways, obviously, for mana fixing, some temples, and Triome. This has land type, and it's fetchable off Binding. These forests are also fetchable off Binding. We have 2 of the best castles, same rationale as my Dimir deck. If you have a full hand, you scry. If you don't, you draw with this one. Pretty even split on the basics. We do want double blue on turn 3 for Sot Coming, even though we are a bit more black. We also want double blue on turn 5 for Yorion. And 2 of our blue sources also come from Jwaris, so you have to keep that in mind when looking at the mana base. But yeah, Fabled Passage and 1 Field of Ruin to take out other Faceless Havens and stuff like that. Pretty useful card. If you're having mana trouble, cut it and put another basic. So that's it for the list, guys. If you like it, be sure to drop a like on the video. It will be in the description down below as always. And consider subscribing. It really motivates me to make more content. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Okay, so hand is a little weird, but I think it's fine to keep. We have removal and counter magic. No actual source of card advantage right now, but I think it's fine. We technically have a 4-lander, but I don't know if that's gonna come true. We might be able to 4-spike something. And mono red, okay. They don't even need to play the charger. We know. Alright, get started with the Triome. So, already got decisions to make. Do we play Jwaris tapped and Bloodchief's Thirst something? Or do we play Locthwain and just hold open Omen of the Sea and a Disruption? We'll see what they do. Robber? Alright, I think we're going to go with the Bloodchief's Thirst play. Oh, there's our sweeper. Feels bad. Alright, that also makes me want to set up my mana a bit more. So we'll Bloodchief's Thirst the Robber. Play out one of these Jwaris. And pass the turn. Probably play Castle next turn and then hold up all 3 of these cards. Or all 4 of these cards, actually. Sorry. Kargan Intimidator. Alright, well, Soul Shatter kills it. So we'll see what else they do. Holding open 1 mana. Ugin, not a great draw. But yeah, I want 3 mana. If we don't actually Jwari something, then we'll probably play it as a tap land. But if we can ramp or stay alive long enough to resolve Ugin, we're feeling pretty good. So, okay, either Shock, Rimrock Knight, or just Intimidator mana ability being held open. Hellhound can resolve. I'm not too scared of a Hellhound, especially not on turn 1. So they go to attackers. They can't cleave me. Do I want to just shatter now? Make them sacrifice the Intimidator? Or do I want them to... I actually want them to spend their mana. Trying to pump the Intimidator or something. Maybe they'll Rimrock Knight. So we'll let them go to combat. No respect for the Shark Typhoon. Are they going to activate? We just sent them to damage, so we'll see. They're thinking about it. I don't know if they have any other play. They definitely don't have a hasty robber, Sorry, just talking a little fast. And they just pass us to damage. Okay, so we're going to Soul Shatter this. We don't need to take 3. And then we can play Juari's tapped and hold up Saw It Coming or Omen. And if we draw untapped land, we can bind. So we'll see. Plenty of options. Alright, we draw tap land. But I think it's fine. We'll play it out because, I mean, this might actually hit something. And I don't think we want to buy Yorion just yet. Although if we buy it, then we know we have binding into Yorion. And stomp my face. So do I spike that? Do we spike the Bone Crusher? I don't think so. I think we let them try to resolve it. It forces them to use their mana. And we'll see if they go land cleave. Alright, now we're just going to Juari's this thing. See, it takes up their whole turn. They get 1 point of damage in if they don't hit land, and it pushes them straight to combat, so they probably don't have a land. And, okay, so we do hit land 5. Now the question is, do we want to bind and then do nothing else with our turn, or hold up Omen and Saw It Coming? I kind of want to buy Yorion and hold up Omen. The opponent's best play last turn was Slam Bone Crusher Giant, so they can't be doing too great. We'll put this on blue. We already have double green. If I buy Yorion, I'm pretty much saying, like, come attack me. So I think we wait a little bit, try to get a bit more mana, and counter something, and draw some cards. They hit land 4. That came off the top. So maybe Torbrand, maybe Cleave. Torbrand. Easy read, boys. Counter target spell. And they'll go to attack, and then we can play Omen. I mean, after they declare attackers, I'll play the Omen, but you guys know the vibes. I don't know what else they'd be waiting for. We'll see. I literally just think that roping us out of salt, but that's fine. So the question is, do we keep untapped land? We probably keep removal, although we have removal into Ugin, so we'll see. Omen up. Shark Typhoon? Do we keep the Shark Typhoon? I don't think so. I think we keep untapped land just to keep getting our mana up to Ugin. And we get more land. Alright, so we'll... guess we will buy Yorion and get this binding down. Go to the Charger, and we'll take 1, because if they don't draw land, this Hellhound literally does nothing. And next turn we can, like, can we buy and play Yorion? No, we can't. So it feels bad, but it's alright. We can definitely buy Yorion, and the turn after, play Ugin. Okay, Hellhound do nothing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, well, we'll grab Triome because it enters tapped anyways. Buy me a Yorion. And we'll put this on blue. And we'll pass from there. So plenty of mana. I probably should have bottomed this pathway. In hindsight. Or maybe even bought this Yorion a bit sooner so we can go turn 3. Or we can go binding into Yorion immediately after. And they probably just top deck that Phoenix. So they can attack. They might be scared of Shark Typhoon, which we would have had, which is kind of funny. And just more land. Alright, well, that'll go off. We can play our Swamp and go for the Ugin. Ugin's gonna wipe this board. I guess if we were playing for Ugin, it's not a huge deal. We -3, we lose out on our Omen. So maybe we were supposed to scry instead. of just letting it get exiled. Small mistakes, guys. And we are flooding, which is kind of jokes. Bolt face. Does it resolve? We are a 36 land deck, so I can understand that. What's this thing starting loyalty? 7. We blink Ugin to reset loyalty. Kick W. And I don't know if I want to start drawing off Locthwain. My life total's pretty low. But yeah, we're going to play the Yorion. Just get it down. Nice blocker. I don't think we're going to need that much more card advantage to deal with our mono red opponent. My research has concluded. And we can draw with the castle. We'll see what they do. They could always just burn my face down, and then we'd be taking an extra 2 from the castle. So we'll see. We'll hold up quote-unquote removal, or whatever this bluff the opponent thinks is. 3rd Hellhound. Not that many lands. Feels good. This is why I don't play Hellhound in my mono red decks. Well, whenever I do actually play mono red, which is not often, let me tell you. I just don't find the landfall to be reliable enough. And we're dead to double Bone Crusher Giant if I draw here, so let's not do that. Okay, now I'm starting to get a little annoyed. I guess we'll put this on black. We have plenty of mana of all our colors. Ugin can shoot the Hellhound. And in 2 turns we ultimate. I'm not even going to attack. We're going to keep this Yorion in front of the Ugin. Might see Stomp on Ugin, we might see Stomp face. We'll see. I think this is one of the scenarios where Castle might be better. No attacks. Just pass it back. Maybe I'm supposed to attack with the Yori and just try to close. But, yep. Haste attacker. Looking real bad in the face of my big bird. So what, Tome would be pretty nice. Just a steady flow of cards. I'm still not going to draw off this till I empty my hand completely. The fact that we keep drawing 1 land is annoying. But it is what it is. No attacks. Unless you have like double Rimrock Knight. In which case I'm still going to take this block. Whatever they have, the block is correct. Because we just bolt this Fervent Champion. More land, naturally. Bolt the 1/1. Uh-huh.
Do not ignore my draconic talent.
And pass. I don't think the color of my pathways particularly matters anymore. You know, being at 12 mana and all. I guess we're just going to put that one on black, because if I want more blue, I have it in this pathway. We don't need a lot of green for this deck to function. We need 1 pip on Binding, 2 pips on Coma, so we already have 3 of them. And if they don't have direct damage, we ultimate Ugin right now. Into another Ugin. Easy -10, boys. How many times have you seen an Ugin ultimate go off? I've had a couple in my day, but this doesn't happen every game. It's pretty sick. Right into replacement Ugin. I wonder if the opponent's going to Salt Rope us. And this is why we hold back with Yorion. I don't think we can lose after gaining 7 life, drawing 7 cards, and putting 7 permanents onto the battlefield. I just don't see how we lose. Oh man, let me ultimate my Ugin. Wonder if they actually have interaction or if they're just holding up the Embreth. Oh boys, they have 3 timeouts. I will hit him with a Yorgo. You can't say you flooded. I have 13 lands, mate. Thank you. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, so we're going to get this Ugin. We're going to get Cosima, and then it kind of hurts to not have Cosima exiled. Oh no, I guess we'll put all of these and hold land. So, okay, Summit 7. Look how much we would have flooded too. And we'll keep this Ugin. Guys, look at all this land. Jesus. More land? Alright. Bolt face. Uh-huh. And we'll put this on green. So what was that? Like 5 lands and a Yorion and a Cosima? Jeez. And I think now we can get in with Yorion. We're at a fair life total. Do I draw off the castle? I mean, there's a couple things I can find. There's no point in playing the Yorion. I think we take the draw. Not play this yet because I want to play it when Cosima's in exile. I mean, not play it, not crack. We'll take 2, but we're not at 6 anymore. We're at 13. Oh my god. Alright. Fair enough. Hard cast cleave. Easy. Alright, so what's my opponent trying to do? Haster into equip cleave. Oh my god, that was the actual plan. And they're equipping. Sending it where? Face, probably? Just the Ugin? I mean, that takes my Ugin down a peg. Are they using Embereth before blockers? Alright, so block with Cosima, trade for the Fervent Champion. I mean, I say we need the card advantage. How many more lands can we draw? I'm taking this block. We're gonna try to keep this other Ugin healthy because it's already pretty close to ultimating. Alright. And Ugin drops to 7. I guess it's not even thinning the deck because we have a land at the bottom. Cling. Okay. Well, I can exile their cleave. You know what? No, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do, boys. Watch this. We're gonna start here. Get them down. We're gonna take out their cleave. 5, 6. Because if we take out their cleave, I don't think there's any way they're winning. And we'll actually start here. There's nothing but creatures in their yard, so we'll exile one of my non-creatures. Try to draw something spicy. More land, of course. I can draw again. Is that worth it? And let's just play Yorion and reset this Ugin's loyalty. All the way back up. Sorry, no stop. No stop. Thank you. 20 lands in play. I can't believe it. No ultimatums. Barely any ramp. What, 19 lands right now? 20 with the pathway to 6. I mean, they're dead on board. They're dead to Ugin Bolt plus Yorion attack. They smash. And they scoop. I can't believe the opponent even stayed this long. And I can't believe we flooded as hard as we did. But hey guys, we get there and we get the job done. Okay, yeah. End is good. Against Yorion, so I'm glad we have our tome. All our colors in the form of every single pathway. So that feels pretty good. Our priority is Dimir colors. And we'll get this out of the way. We have nothing to do on 1, and we need land types for that to enter untapped. So there's no reason not to. So also Sultai. Nice. So which pathway do we want to play here? We only really need 1 green source. I think we can play this one. Play this one on black. And we'll hold the bark channel. Get Tome down. Or I mean, we need 2 green sources for Coma, but that's in a while. So Omen. Yep. Alright, guys. After that surprisingly long mono red game, we face, I mean, we're going to face a Yorion deck, so get ready for a long Yorion mirror. Oh yeah, let's do this. Event can deal with a coma, so even though it doesn't look great in this match, it can still be pretty important. And we'll see if they're on the ultimatum plan, or if they're just on the coma plan, like ourselves. Alright, and they just buy Yorion. Okay, so we're probably going to see a binding, but we can spike that. I guess we can play this on green. I think we just get double blue online. And then this can be black and this can be green. And pass the turn. No need to buy Yorion when we can hold open all this stuff. So if we see turn 4... Oh, just Elspeth's Nightmare. Trying to get into my hand. Let's go with no. Spike what we can when we can, especially when I'm not in need of hitting my lands right now. And we don't scry on this because we want to milk it for as many cards as we can. Alright, that's also good. So we'll play the passage, get black, and then probably end up playing this on green. The only other castle I have is my black one, so I want it to enter untapped if I draw it. Now, to foretell Sot coming? I think so. It means if they don't play anything I want to counter, I can just draw off the tome. Or play Omen, and it's good to have in the foretell zone for the future. Alright, they just play the Yorion. Is that worth countering? We can Soul Shatter it next turn, they just get a bit of draw. So sure. I'm actually not afraid of this resolving. And we'll make them do everything on end step. Because I don't want them to know what to pick up with more information. And I'm going to draw off the tome. I want to start getting counters on it in case of a binding. 2 to the top. Okay. And we draw. Cool. Okay. We'll get a green source online, I guess. We can just get a bit more blue. I guess we go for the green. And we can buy Yorion. I think we just hold up 5 mana. And we'll pass here. I don't really want to Soul Shatter on my turn. I want to bluff up as much counter magic as I can. And its opponent's going to smack me with Yorion. I think we just Soul Shatter here. I don't want to take 4 damage for no reason, and we only really need 2 more mana. We're going to Soul Shatter this anyways. I mean, ideally we have more than 2, but we only have spells or abilities that cost 2 to activate. And our opponent's seeing if they want to counter this. I mean, if they counter it, I'm not going to fight that war. We have an extinction event. And we have plenty of card draw to find another like just Doomblade-esque effect like Heartless Act. And they cycle for a 1/1 shark. I guess they're trying to find a gate. Oops. Okay. And they cycle and they say oops. I'm not sure why. And same rationale as last turn. We draw here. We have binding, which is nice. Good draw. I guess we'll take out the 1/1 shark. I mean, how much mana do I really need here? We'll put this on blue. We have 6 mana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think it's worth taking out a 1/1 just yet. And I don't really want to buy Yorion right now. I'm happy just playing a very instant speed game. And now if the opponent binds my Maze Mind Tome, it's not the end of the world. We'd still have gotten 3 cards out of it. Or 2 right now, or we're about to get a 3rd. Okay, take 1. Grindy game, boys. Grindy game. Do they pass? What's the plan? They need 7 mana to ultimatum. Second Yorion, eh? Playing around Juaris. I think I'll take a scry. Draw, sorry. See what I hit, just land. And we'll do this now too. I want to see if I'm going to find another counterspell. We do, and I guess the other binding is also good. So these are both fine. Now, counter or no counter? Tough call. I suppose not, and I suppose I bind it. I'm wasting a little bit of mana, but I do think it's fine all in all. And having this for a potential ultimatum can be a huge deal. 2 Yorions down. We're not on the same deck because of the aggro mulling, but we're probably on a very similar deck. We can't forget they foretold something of their own, which is probably a Saw It Coming. Might be an Ulrun's Epiphany. Alright, so we're going to bind this. Let's actually play this on black first. And I want to hold open double blue. Perfect. So we bind here. Take out the Yorion. And now, do I buy my own Yorion? I don't think so. I think I just hold open Saw It Coming. And maybe a Tome draw. Although next turn, if I buy and play Yorion, which I can do, reset the binding, reset the tome, and draw some cards off the Omen, I'm probably chilling. Yeah, that's why we hold up the counter magic. It wasn't Ulrun's Epiphany. And we'll use the one in hand. Even though the opponent knows about something in Foretell, I guess we can bluff up our own Ulrun's Epiphany. Okay. And they might have another one. But if they do, I don't think we're terribly disadvantaged. I think it is worth tapping out for. So we'll start. We have double green. We can put this on blue. And then we go buy Yorion. Play Yorion. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Alright, we're actually going to take out the Omen. This 1/1 is not a big deal. Whereas if they have another Yorion, then the Omen can provide even more value than it already has. Negate, great draw. And we'll pass. Okay, so for the first time in this entire game, we're tapped out. But we do so to get a crazy burst of value. And they have 7 mana, so they can go for an Epiphany. They can actually go for an ultimatum right now. And they go for it. Okay, so I just want to make sure I get the interface right. Search your library for the 3 monocolored cards. Opponent chooses one of those cards. Shuffle that card into your library, and they cast the others. Alright. I just want to make sure the selector goes as planned. Again, even if we... I don't think there was a way to play around this exact ultimatum. So we have to let it happen. We'll see what they search up. Probably like Ulrun's Epiphany, maybe Vorinclex, maybe Kiora. So Ugin would be really useful to find, especially because we can go Ugin, hold up, Saw It Coming, or negate. Okay. So what don't we want them to get? I guess we don't want to give them Epiphany. And we give them Vorinclex and Tybalt. I think that's fine, right? And this won't tick up. So if ever we take out the Vorinclex and get another Yorion, then we're probably chilling. Yep, Tybalt comes down, and so does Vorinclex. It means they can ultimate the Tybalt right away. But if they do so, we just kill it with the Yorion. And they do, okay. That's a lot of card advantage.
Even the dead will suffer at my hand.
Whew. But they have to do it on this turn. So we'll see. I guess that's the bind with ultimatum. They have the soul shatter. I mean, I say they have the soul shatter. We knew they had the soul shatter. Hit me for 7. I'm gonna scry. Just to push closer to the life. Even Ugin isn't great in this spot because of Vorinclex. Nope. And I'm not gonna scry my upkeep. It's basically free also. That's pretty funny. So. Kick a Bloodchief's Thirst. Take out a Tybalt.
Oh, it's not fair.
Play this. Oh, the opponent has a lot of options. No point in binding. So I just go for even and then hold up 2 mana. I suppose we might need that in the future. And we're going to go for a Heartless Act right now. While they're tapped out. We're going to have a lot to play around. And then 4 mana. Now we can pass. Okay. So opponent definitely has card advantage on us, but we have mana advantage. So let's hope to leverage that. And we'll see what they go for. Yeah, they have their land drop and Fabled Passage. They have their Ulrun's Epiphany, but we have 2 counter spells. We can't counter all of this, but if they resolve Shark Typhoon, I think we're fine and we just bind it. So we'll see what they do. We also have to contend with every single card in their actual hand. Nightmare, that's whatever. And also bind that if we want to. Which might end up happening. And they cultivate, okay. Try to hit land. Which they already played this turn, so they're just going to have this swamp chilling in their hand. Go to attack me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we draw. Ugin isn't bad, although that probably gets countered. Grab another Triome. Just try to milk that mana advantage. Play out Triome. Alright, so what do we do? I don't think Ugin is resolving right now, and I think we're going to need Ugin to deal with a more important game state. They don't typically run more than 1 Vorinclex. They have Juaris. They have 1 Sot coming we have to worry about. I think we just try to take out their Nightmare. Because if we don't, they're going to take Ugin out of our hand that way. Okay. And we can draw off the tome main phase. I wouldn't play anything anyways. We already used our land for the turn. So, alright, we pass and hold everything up. See if they want to cycle their shark. Oh, they have an Omen. Alright. Sorry, I guess I just wasn't too worried about that, all things considered. Okay. What do we need to find? We were doing pretty good till we got hit by an ultimatum that I don't think we really could have dealt with, regardless. Now, I'll see what they go for. Hard Slam Shark Typhoon, I probably let resolve. Vorinclex, they are running second Vorinclex, which does get eaten by Extinction Event. But I don't think I can afford to take all this damage. So we're going to try to fight. Resolves, okay. I don't know what the opponent thinks they can just slam through that now. It's not a Shark Typhoon, they only have 5 mana. And this 1/1 has been awfully annoying all game, but it's still not the biggest deal. So what do you go for? Have I put anything to the bottom? Not really, because I shuffled my deck with the binding. Alright, we draw. Find castle. At least that's our land for the turn. And ramp a bit more. Grab our last Triome out of the deck. So our mana is stellar. Play castle. Alright, we're about to have... We actually do have 14 mana. But this... It won't resolve, right? Like, there's no way. Do I just try to slam the Ugin? Or do I have to use Ugin to try to correct the board state? That might be what I have to do. Maybe I just cycle make Massive Shark. Alright. We're holding up Counter Magic, card draw off the tome, and Big Shark. Opponent has Omen. Okay, that had to come from their hand. So opponent's deck is probably greedier than mine is. Or one of Shark Typhoon, probably never resolving. And we might have to contend with their own Ugins. We'll see. Ultimatum. Well, we fight the good fight, right, boys? They're going to counter it. Oh my god, they let that go. I'm in absolute shock. They don't want to saw it coming. Jwari's tapped. Okay, that means they probably don't have any lands in hand. So we draw off the tome and make Big Shark, I guess. Five, six, seven. All right, we're tapped out. Let's try to find some more counter magic. Alright, Thick Shark. Coma. Can't be countered. Alright. Death Touch Big Boy. Get in there. Resolves. Not playing Ugin yet. Just gonna hold up Tome counter. And we'll pass here. I don't know what the opponent is holding up. Like, they're holding up this counter spell, but I think they should have just fought me on that negate. And what's that, second ultimatum? They probably have a third based on the way they're playing it. Alright. We get our coil, so Coma won't die to Doomblade, or Heartless Act in this case. And we'll see what they go for. We have them on a real clock now. So we'll see if we can do anything with it. I have a couple options regarding how I would react to like an Alrund's Epiphany or something. What probably happens is we scry off the Omen and then draw from Tome. That takes 5 mana. We still have 3 for a Saw It Coming or a negate, which would be 2. But we are really probably just trying to find the counterspell. And the ultimatum, okay. Let's see if it's here. I kind of want this tome, but no. We have to bottom it. And we draw here. Gain some life, which might actually come in super handy. We actually hit the Saw It Coming. Alright, so we can cast a Saw It Coming, and then they just Saw It Coming back. So I guess that's fine. We can't just let this happen. We have to get this one counterspell out of their deck. Out of their hand, or I say hand, out of the Hibalt Exile Zone. And no point in tapping a land. And they finally ripped the saw it coming. Hey, I did all in my power to find that counterspell. Don't even say nice. Like I said, guys, we're using the mana advantage. So what did they even get? Third ultimatum and 30 cards. Seems fine. No doubt. God. What's it gonna be? We've seen 2 Vorinclexes, so are they really gonna go for a third? I don't think so. If they go for an Epiphany, we get more coils. I think we just... What do we even put back? God. How do we want to do this? Okay. Has hexproof, so we can't even tap this thing. We can block it. So I think we just put back Valky and give them the extra turn and the Kiora. Because at the beginning of each of these extra turns, we're going to get another blocker. Okay, Kiora. Resolves. 8/8 hexproof, which we can block forever because of our very pretty coils. Attacks. And I suppose it's your turn again. Alright, and if they want to blink this Kiora with a Yorion, then we can go Extinction and even wipe the entire board. So, 3 mana left? What do you do with it? I mean, they can foretell this to get a discount. Nightmare. That's so annoying. They're gonna take my Ugin. Alright. Your turn again. At least we get another snake. Or, yeah, big snake. Tap all non-land permanents, eh? We're just gonna lose. Alright, so now we're just dead, right? Because we tap all the birds and they just cast Allruns again and kill me. So, yeah, GG. Draw 3 ultimatums in your top 32 cards. Jesus, guys. Alright, guys, and we are back. So the rationale that the greedier deck will probably win in the longer, drawn-out control games stays true in this video. I do honestly believe this deck has a better matchup against anything lower to the ground, like any aggro deck and most mid-range decks. I think this deck can handle beautifully. It won't have trouble with ultimatum, but that's why best of 3 exists. You have all your disputes, more negates, all that stuff coming in. And if you want, play the ultimatum version. I completely understand why deck is super powerful, as you guys just saw, but I just think this deck has a more, I don't want to say like a better game plan, but I want to say like more interactive game plan, right? We stay alive a lot better. Even though you can run a lot of these cards in the ultimatum deck, you won't have cards like Allrun's Epiphany, Vorinclex, Kiora Best of Sea Gods, which if you're seeing in your hands in turns like 1 to 5, kind of, in best of 1, you're just sad, right? They don't do anything for you. And if you're getting beat down by something aggressive, you're just losing. And then by the time you can cast your ultimatum, you've probably just died, which is why these decks haven't done anything in the past. Whereas this one kills your opponent's stuff, counters some spells, draws some cards, interacts. It's more Dimir-esque, but it uses the green for Coma and Ramp in binding the old gods. But yeah, so you really just take your pick as to what you think you're going to be facing. If you really think you're going to face a lot of control decks and a lot of greedier decks, then go with Ultimatum. If you think you're going to face more aggro and mid-range, I recommend the Snake. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Again, deck list will be in the description down below, as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.